Hi, it's Hazel, and welcome to my channel, Hazel and Aka Design. Now, you won't necessarily see these back to back, but I'm doing this video immediately after I did a thrift haul video on books. And I think I named it, or I entitled it, Kids, Books, and More, or something like that. You know, very, very imaginative. Anyway, I have these general items, crafting items that I either bought or received from Brenda when she and I met the other day. So I'm going to I have a little mountain here. I'm just going to one by one go through them. Now, what might happen, what you might think happened to these hands between that video and this video? Well, I hate to trigger any, scarring type of memories for you, but if you've ever lost control of what's in your fridge and had a broccoli go bad on you, I mean, is there a more horrific smell? Like truly, it almost smells like death. Really, really bad. Cruciferous family. Anyway, I was poking around in the fridge today and I see, I've got not one, but 2 heads of purple cabbage. So I looked at and I thought, that looks like some mold on there. So I take it out, and at the bottom, I guess the side it's been sitting on for too long, there's this ooey, purpley brown puddle of blech. Anyway, so I started, of course, dealing with it, not thinking I should have put on some gloves. Anyway, that's my story. Okay, let's begin. And one thing that surprises me, like purple cabbage smells terrible when you cook it. Why was it not stinking when it was all like rotten? Okay, this is one of the items I got from Brenda. As you may know, we got together, was it just this week? Yeah, I think earlier this week, to have lunch and swap some stuff that was surplus or purposely collected for and saved for the other person. So one of the things she included in here, sorry, I shouldn't be wasting your time doing that, is this set of chipboard alphabets and shapes, and it's called Princess Shapes, and of course the colors are cool. So I kind of went through it. I took out some of the items that I thought I could use in the journal, although maybe I could use that purple crown as well. So I better not put this too far away. Anyway, it's got crowns and flowers and keys and so on, and a lot of those corner pieces. So I will be using that soon. I bought this the other day at like this MCC thrift store moved to a new location, and so I was there for the first time, and I pretty well always buy the paper flowers if I see them and if the price is right. So that is kind of a browny, grungy color. This is Prima Flowers. I've never owned anything like, okay, Summer Singles Bark Comic. I don't know what that means. I have never bought anything like this brand new, so it's always a treat for me to find this kind of stuff for sale at a good price, or what I hope is a good price. Okay, one of the things that Brenda brought, because she has been doing a destashing in her place, so she said, well, do you want some rubber stamps? But like, I mean, how can you answer that question? It depends on what the stamp is, because God knows I have my own big collection. So I said, well, why don't you put a bunch, the ones that you want to get rid of, why don't you put them in a bag? If I want them, I'll keep them, and if I don't, I'll move them along to somebody else. So I kept this one because I think it's very pretty, and it has the bird die. So I'm looking forward to using that one very soon. I didn't realize that those were, see, Sometimes it's easier to see on this side. I didn't realize that this was a winter scene and that bird has a snowflake on it and a Santa hat. Not so sure. Well, I guess I'll ponder. Oh, see, and I didn't look inside till now. Okay, it's called Four Seasons, so maybe it is worthwhile hanging on to because they're kind of a cute size. And these in particular sort of reminded me of a doily shape, and I don't have anything like that. So we shall see. Some of the ones I knew for sure I didn't want, I brought to the last live sale, and some people got a screaming hot deal, like a whole set for $1, just because, why can I not open this? Maybe it's taped shut. Anyway, the reason I thought this might be kind of cute is because of these houses. I have a thing for houses. I buy house stamps. I buy house stencils. I save house pictures. One of these days, I have to do something about that. And then this, I'm not entirely sure what this is. Paper pumpkin contains supplies for 8 gift cards and 8 gift card envelopes. And it looks like, well, all the supplies are here to, to do whatever it is you need to do. So little risers, like those, those things, those things. Some flat-back, no, not flat-back. Yes, flat-back pearls. Anyway, so I'm going to have a closer look at this and baker's twine as well. So thank you, Brenda, for those. Oh, well, we'll get to more Brenda stuff in a minute. I picked this up. Now, back in the day, I think, and I've said this in the past, I took it one summer, many, many moons ago. I took a calligraphy course at during a college summer program, and it was wonderful. So there's a wee bit of paper, a little teeny tiny a nib holder, a couple of nibs, a little tiny bottle of ink that I don't know if it's still liquid or not. Oh, more paper. And this tiny little book with some, I don't see any diagrams or anything in there, but maybe they think if you're buying this miniature version, you already know what you're doing. So I will see how this goes. Isn't that reason enough to buy it? Although I didn't know what was in it, to be honest, when I bought it. So the art of calligraphy. These little things are kind of cute, and they're those impulsive, mind you, pretty expensive too. I don't know what year this is, but it would retail in Canada would have been $9. So cute. And we can't usually resist cute. I'm thinking, what the heck is this? It looks ancient. Now it says, in English, it says original copper tape, 12 millimeters wide. Now I have no idea if this is all here or not, but given that I love copper, would I not automatically pick this up? Let's see what we have here. Whoops. Don't tear the tape. Oh. I can just, and this is, copper. Even copper sheeting is so thin as a rule and so fragile. Anyway, I need to probably put that with my copper, in my copper bin, so I don't forget. Now, I brought to the live sale this set. This one I'm keeping because okay, let me just back up a minute. Speedball, of course, is the brand that typically sells linoleum blocks and other gouges and cutter tools like this for cutting your own stamp blocks. Now, I have one, but my original one does not have, it definitely does not have that end. And I think it only has 3, so I don't know which of these are additional, but obviously I want all the possible pieces that I can get. So if you don't know, the end of this handle screws off and all the pieces are stored inside, which is so clever. So I had this one for sale, didn't have any takers. I will, I'm sure, try again, because the price I was asking was quite a bit cheaper than what the price when I Googled it. So that will go back to come back to another sale or be listed or something. Another thing I offered for sale were these natural sea sponges. And of course, I'm keeping one for myself. And as I said in that sale, during that sale, this is really big. Like, it's a handful for me. So I'm going to, well, why don't I just do it? I can just do it. I'm going to cut it in half. I guess it might be better if I could tear it. Probably can't tear it. Okay, I'm cutting it in half. Ooh. And so, of course, now I have this sort of a flat surface. And you can see from area to area how it changes. And using this sort of a sponge with your watercolors or acrylics is so much more, is such a much nicer tool than to use a synthetic sponge, because of course, you know, man-made is never as good as the real thing. So these will go in with my art supplies, and I do have some of these that will come back to a sale, I'm sure, because I'm such a believer in this product. Okay, so what else? This, oh, I made crumbs. This is, maybe you can't see, but I don't want to take the cover off. Anyway, it's a plastic cover over a silver guest book that has this beautiful embossed cover. And patina around the edges. I mean, if somebody took pages out, I wouldn't know it because they're gone. But, you know, this was back in the day when people made big parties for 25th anniversaries and 50th anniversaries. You'd buy a book like this, you'd use the first 2 or 3 pages, and the rest would be, okay, now what? I love it because of the cover, and of course be easy enough too. Now this, I think, would have to come out and be replaced with a normal spine, because I don't have a mechanism for making those kinds of holes if I wanted to add pages. And of course, with a book like this, there's a limit to how much you could get in there anyway. But just to give you an idea, that is lovely. So we'll add that to the bottomless pit of possible journal cover ideas. This is a kit for printing your own business cards. Now it's classy enough, just with the, you know, sort of the ivory color and the gold stripe, that it could be used as the basis for, you know, just tags or focal points or whatever. And you know, I do have quite a few of this type of thing, not that necessarily that design, but I still can't seem to resist. So there you have it. I've also done with things like this, or with labels, I've also stamped all over them. And then, of course, once you separate them, you're getting, it's almost like a masterboard. You don't know what particular thing is going to show up on the one piece or the other, because they're all going to be different. So maybe one of these days we'll have to do a video about that. Now, I think I combined 2 open packages here. Now, why I thought that I should have this is not entirely clear to me. I don't have a laser printer. They are Rolodex. Oh, these are just plain. Okay, well that's good. So, but how many are there? Oh, it's a grab bag of. Okay, the bulk of. Let's see what. Whoops. Sorry, I should have done this. Okay, these are plain. I mean, that's what I do too when I've opened packages. I mix them all up and then, of course, don't know what I have. Okay, so these are the size, you know, like sort of 2 by 3.5 or whatever that is. So luckily there are a bunch of those because I like stamping on those. Here are the tiny ones, so you can see the one that's missing there. Those are kind of cool too. And then oh, here's another one of the small, or another 2 of the small guys. And then these are Rolodex cards. So you can see that you would end up with a Rolodex thing. So it's fairly lightweight, and that's, I suppose, to go through the printer with more ease. But I do have, you know, quite a few of those. What's this? That's Rolodex as well. So I think I better share some of those or figure out very soon what to do with them. I remember Artie Mays doing a Rolodex sort of projects and you know, mixed media kind of stuff on there, and I loved the ideas. And in fact, I started doing that along with her. But of course, you know, like many things, I'll show this probably last. Like many things, there are, you know, even though an idea can be up. Sorry, I'll take a sip of hot water. There can be many wonderful ideas out there, but in no time at all, they're replaced by other wonderful ideas. And so we keep growing. Now, I don't know what this is, if that's a family name. It looks old. It's got these humongous, look at the heads on these giant brads. It's got this great cover, and it has like mimeographed songs or lyrics, I guess. On top of Old Smoky. Roman in the Gloamin', When Irish Eyes Are Smiling. So all the classics. Because mimeograph comes out, it looks like purple ink. I mean, it's kind of discolored in places, so I don't know how that's possible, but it's not ours to question. Oh, 1954. Delta Phi of Delta Kappa Epsilon presents a collection of its favorite songs from 1954. I never saw that before. Okay, cool. That makes it even more precious. This was a package of, well, let's open it. Bill of lading. So this is obviously what truck drivers would have to have anytime they have a load of whatever to deliver to a customer. Oh my goodness. Oh, and it said, oh, it's got carbon paper, so it must be an older, mind you, it has a barcode, but we know that barcodes only came into effect in the 70s. She fought with some saran wrap and lost. Okay. 3 copies. Oh, so it's sort of carbonized. So this would be one set of documents. The original, the shipping order, and the memorandum note. So all the pages are white. Oh, no, they're not carbonized. There's carbon paper at the back here. Few sheets. Oops, sorry. I'm apologizing to the pad. I think even the youngest among you know about carbon paper. You just have to have the presence of mind to remember to move it to the next set of documents. There was always that. Okay, so because the back side is white and because it is not carbonized, these could also obviously very clearly be signature pages. And the font is microscopic. Okay, I found, well, maybe I'll put those aside for the time being, make a little more room here. I love this book because this is fabric. Is that not beautiful? So, of course, the temptation is to use the cover exactly as I find it. Now, somebody must have removed something. There was probably an inscription or something. 1981. Per Movan Papers. A lot of blank pages to... Oh, those are... They want them... They'll to use those for photographs. So actually, almost what a person could almost do, family interviews, cemetery records, family valuables, memorabilia. But you can see that if a person wanted to keep this book intact and not add a lot of bulk to it, it would be a pretty darn good book to use just as it is. You know, there's a record of education, family divorces, wow. And then this is like the family tree part. But I guess, you know, sometimes part of me thinks, shouldn't I be filling this out just as a legacy to my own family and to capture what little I know now? So maybe that's what I should do. And hope that somebody cares after I'm gone. I don't know, like, I just love this cover. I'm going to ponder that. Okay. Quite often I find calendars, and I'm usually pretty happy to grab them. This is a 1998 country sampler. And this kind of aesthetic, you know, with the checkerboard board, the kind of the cutesy country, was kind of really a lot of what was going on towards the end of the time my mom and I had our store. So there are these oversized pages here. Oh, I see there are Bible verses as well. Then you've got the title of the month, which you could obviously salvage, and this cute little artwork at the top. Somebody actually used this calendar. Now, is it a repeating? Yes, it is a repeating design on the header. Oh, Schwann's Day. I don't know how far, and I don't know if that company still exists or how far and wide their reputation went, but they were an ice cream maker. That's nice. Christmas. And the ice cream, I could never afford to buy that ice cream, but I know that we were gifted one once, and it came in a great big round tin. And of course, it showed me some ice cream that I don't love. Oh, look how sweet that is. You know, just very ultra country here. Anyway, a lot of good imagery here. Oh, Sandy, there's one of your sheep. Boy, people don't really... Oh, Schwann's came on a Saturday that month. Actual people's names and phone numbers. Oh, look at how beautiful this one is. My goodness. That's a keeper for sure. Okay. Not entirely sure. I think like the Italian Center is, they have 2 or 3 locations in Edmonton, and they are, oh, it's only last year. It was near, I was near there the other day waiting to go into my appointment for mammography and the bone density test. And I thought, okay, I need to eat something. So why don't I, excuse me, why don't I go to the Italian Center? And it was like a person was in a market in Europe where this cacophony of sounds. First of all, I was thinking, just take something out, eat in my car. But a table opened up because it's a hot spot. And so I decided to eat in. Anyway, there were these 4 men at the next table. I don't know what language they were speaking. I don't think it was Italian. Well, who knows? But I'm telling you, it's like going to a bar. Not that I've been in a bar lately, but where the noise level, the decibels, not a relaxing place at all, but definitely tiramisu. But definitely a place where you feel like you're part of something larger. And I might have also had a chocolate croissant after my bowl of homemade soup. So it's really quite an experience. So it's retail. You know, they've got their own bakery in there. I think they do their own meat cutting too, so very much kind of on that European model. Anyway, I don't think I needed this really, but I've got it. Okay, and this one, look at how gorgeous this is. Now, I don't know who Andres Caldor is. I don't know if I'm saying that right. New York, 2016. But can you see why I would have gravitated to this? Doesn't really, or maybe it does at the back. Does it say who this guy is? Okay. While in New York for an exhibition of his watercolors of European opera houses, artist Andres I don't know if I'm saying that right, a Hungarian born in 1938, was encouraged to paint the icons of the New York skyline, a commission he enthusiastically accepted. Trained as an architect in Edinburgh, Scotland, this guy set out to capture New York's historic landmarks and beloved public spaces, its churches, corporate headquarters, and museums, along with the residents of the rich and famous. He published these 39 paintings in New York, Masterpiece of Architecture. The 12 images reproduced in his calendar feature an architecture built during the 19th and 20th century by New York's industrialists and entrepreneurs. So I've been to New York once, and I very much enjoyed it. I'm not going to obviously flip through, but maybe I'll just do a couple to show you how beautiful. So I was glad to come across that. Okay, I've got, this was also part of what Brenda passed along to me, and this is obviously one that I kept. So it's just, and again, you know, I might have to think about this one because, you know, most of us have these kinds of stamps in this kind of size. So I don't know. I'm still, I made a big mess one day starting to go through my stamps. And you know, it doesn't help that you've got the rubber mounted, the wood mounted, these sorts of cling ones, and they all need some sort of different storage solution. I'm hanging on to this one because it's got the dies and because it has the stamps. And we'll see. But again, I should almost be putting a post-it on these things with the date. And you know, like that rule about cleaning your closet or going through your clothing, if you haven't worn it in a year, get rid of it. If you haven't opened the package and used it in a year, get rid of it. So this guy slipped out of his place, obviously. There are two dies, an outline and this more detailed one, and the stamps that go with it. And, you know, those sentiments usually aren't of much interest to me. But I like the open design of the butterfly. And, yeah, I think that could be quite nice. So I hung on to that one. Thank you, Brenda. This one, of course, because that is a lilac. So this is an embossing folder, a butterfly, and some stamps. So, oh, they're calling Budelia. I don't know. I'm going to choose to believe that that's a lilac. Because certainly the spire type shapes and those individual little flowers look exactly like lilacs. The leaves look like lilacs. And then this one. There is a little Gertie stamp. So, you know, it's dogs, fish, this big armchair. That chair alone is pretty darn special. There's a single cat, oh no, a couple cats, a bunny, a dachshund, and well, some paw prints, but I think I have paw prints. But look at that. Look at that goldfish. Gurgle, 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 bloop, bloop, bloop. Okay. This was another thing that Brenda had thrown in my bag. Oh, I should put that with the Christmas stuff. By the way, it's not too early to start thinking about whether or not you want to participate in Carol's Christmas in July. We talked the other day, and I think she said that she's extending the sign-up period by a little bit, but that doesn't mean you wait till the last minute, of course. Well, hard to see with that gingerbread boy there. Look at this neon. Anyway, I'm going to put the Christmas stuff with the Christmas stuff, and I should actually sort this by how much of anything there is. So there's some lovely satin ribbon, and then little itsy bitsy pieces like that, you know, should be getting used up kind of first and immediately. So again, thank you, Brenda, for that. And I have already plucked some stuff out of here. Some pink bits that I'm using in one of the baby books. Have I got your attention now? So, yes, thank you, Brenda, for that as well. Okay, now the last items, no, that's not true. I'll show you this. Oops. This is, well, I was going to say it feels like felt. Well, it is felt. So it's got a calendar at the top, which I guess I could see cutting into 12 pieces. In fact, that's what I should be doing. Cut it into 12 pieces and have those as the basis for, you know, a cluster, for instance. Isn't that, I just thought of that right now. Anyway, the part that attracted me, of course, was the bottom part here. So this would have been a wall hanging type thing. It's got the little, you know, things to thread a dowel through. 2024. Now, I like this, But I am baffled by these markings. Like, why are there circles? Why are there hearts? Why are there X's? Was a person supposed to be stitching onto this? I think that would be the only thing that makes sense because it's all over the entire design. Now, let me just slide this over. It's 16 inches wide. So clearly there's plenty there to use for a journal cover. How wide is, how tall is it this way? And it's 14. So a person would, like if it was me, well, it is me. I would, well, no, you can't. What good would it do doing it that way? Okay, so if I cut that month part off, this would be one cover, and you could turn back the excess or make a really thick spine. And then this would be the other cover. That is going to be the idea. So I think, unfortunately, I've got my work cut out for me here. The first part I'll do is cut that off and make it a little easier to handle. But yeah, I guess I'm going to be doing French knots or something similar. Okay, I found this, which is an original. I don't know if you can tell as I hold it up and move it around. The paint is tactile. It is there. It is, somebody did this on this piece of canvas. And there's a signature. So how big is the actual? So that's 10 by 9 roughly. So what I could do, I do have lots of stretcher bars, is I could actually stretch this using the stretcher bars mounted and have this pretty attractive original piece of art, which I do have, obviously my own art that's hanging on the walls, but I also like having other people's art as well, and a variety of styles and types. So I have collage, I have fused glass, I have watercolor, acrylic, and it always especially warms my heart if I find a piece I love that didn't cost an arm and a leg. And this didn't cost an arm and a leg. I think I paid $2 for this. And of course, initially, before I thought about framing it, I thought, well, there's a journal cover. And would that not be almost like a perfect cover for a travel journal? Travel journals are typically, taller and skinnier, but who says? Who says? This would be a giclée. That's Giclee, giclée print. So it is when a company takes a piece of, reproduces a piece of art on a piece of canvas. So to the untrained eye, you would think this is an original, because look, you can see the marks of the canvas, but that in fact is not what it is. And you would be able to obviously know that by the price they're charging for it as well. The part that I found interesting, well, number one, it's trees, and who doesn't love trees? And obviously this new growth is coming in. It kind of matches that that lime green ribbon we just looked at, or trim. But at the back here, it says, okay, so the original would have been $1,250, and it was 54 by 36 inches, and it was sold out. So now this is Velcroed, so I'm thinking this probably came from a gallery or a frame shop where they were attempting to sell these giclées, and you could actually leave this border showing and just put a frame around there, and you're ready to go. You would have a piece of art for a fraction of the price. So there's that one. I didn't tell you what size this is. Okay, the overall piece of canvas is almost 17 by 12. So again, easily, even cutting this border off, easily a lot there to make a journal cover. And I remember Teresa and others who have been with me from the beginning will remember that I almost drove myself to the asylum wondering what in the world I had done with a similar, but in that case it was original art canvas with some beautiful trees, because I thought that needs to be a tree journal cover. And it literally took me probably a year or more to discover where I put it. Now, I'm not sure if I've lost it again, but let's just say that maybe I should. I have another one though. Which one would be better? This is the other one. Maybe why don't you weigh in on that in the comments? I will commit to turning one of these into a journal cover, and journal obviously. Mind you, why couldn't I just sell journal covers? Well, tell me about that too. Anyway, this one is similar scenario. It was called Fantasy. It doesn't say what number it was, but it was 57 by 38. The original, it was called Fantasy. And so, again, this is a very much a close-up of, those look like hosta leaves to me. But I think the true story here is the explosion of color. So, if you want me to use one of these to make a journal cover, say so in the comments and say which one you want me to use. And I will make it my priority. I will get to it soon because I do like to, I'm a recovering people pleaser. So if you ask for it, then, I put some of my other stuff aside and get on that. And, and honestly, the reason I would like to do this, even if you didn't ask for it, is because I suspect that those of you who regularly go thrifting come across things like this quite often. Or, it's garage sale season. You may find something in a frame or on stretcher bars that all you have to do is put a little sweat equity in, and all of a sudden you've got either an original piece of art or something like this, and a potential journal cover or more. Oh, I realized as I was starting this video, that I missed showing you this book in the book haul video. So naturally, I have to show it to you because it's so darn good. I picked this up because of, look at the cover. I mean, look at the dust jacket. This has an embossed thing on it. And the spine says the complete book of sewing. I might have to use this for myself. Anyway, I thought that this was like an updated edition of a book that I already have. However, when I got home and I compared the authors and even the size and so on, it's something totally different. And this one is a spectacular. Okay, let me tell you the date first. Look at that. So it's by Constance Talbot, and it was 1943 originally, and this version is 1949. But look at, we've got color, illustrations, and color. Want to make yourself some frilly-dilly kitchen curtains? Can you imagine? What's this lime green thing here? Make a slip cover. Just on and on. Of course, the garments are maybe a little more interesting than the, you know, home decor type of sewing, but cute aprons. So naturally, I'm going to be hoarding this one. Naturally. They pretty well used every color under the sun here. We've got even some embroidery stitches, applique, trapunto, eyelets, scallops, padded satin stitch. Is this not an awesome book? I like that. I didn't see that. I haven't really flipped through this before other than initially when I saw it. I don't even remember where I found it, to be honest. And it's just a bonus that the cover is burgundy. That is one of my favorite colors as well. Okay, and then the final thing, I bought this a while back and I didn't show it. Well, this isn't the form I bought it in. I was at a thrift store and I saw all these vintagey, well, let me start at the bottom perhaps. These vintagey things. Now this was obviously, there must have been a, like, suiting samples or something on here. 1918, 1919 says along the side. Notice that. Yeah, that's where that came from. So I cut off, I think there was damage on this particular one, and that's why I cut these guys in half, trying to make more usable pieces. So this could be further cut to separate those two guys. So these, I believe, were, well, maybe not this one. This is obviously like a catalog or a tailor's kind of thing. The rest of these, I believe, okay, let me see if I can find the pieces for that one. Well, I guess I must have grouped them by size. So this looks ancient. No date. But essentially what I did was I tried to salvage as much as I could, and I believe that they were like a salesman's display of calendars that you could order. So it just has one page to indicate what the calendar page was like. 1938, I started to try to peel that off, and then I'm thinking, get a grip. If anything, I should be gluing this down and cutting it around. But anyway, sometimes I'm just not that smart. So here is the bottom of another calendar. Oh, and I guess that's a bit of a price list there. So yeah, if you wanted your calendar rolled up in a tube, so this also is 1938. That's from another one. This was, you can see this was damaged, but I cut off this part, like it's got these doves on it. And I was thinking that's pretty cute. Another bit there. This was obviously at the top of a page. So this part that I'm showing you here, so you can see that matches that. This Art Deco-y kind of look obviously came off another thing. This is from the Dove one. So these strips are obviously, you know, collage fodder or whatever. I didn't want to waste a speck of it. You can see that some had been water damaged. Okay, now we're getting into the good stuff. So wherever possible, I tried to keep the calendar image intact. So these are a couple of bathing beauties. So based on those calendar little pages, so this would have been the 30s, I guess. Then we've got this one. Now, I don't know, someone smarter than me could maybe tell. These little pinholes, is that insect damage? Is this little slit there insect damage? So this obviously would have come off this. But isn't she gorgeous? And I mean, I wouldn't let those little holes worry me, but I'm just curious. Whoops. Oh, here's another one from that first set. You can see there's damage there on his suit. Something must have been taped to it at one point. Then there's this one. This is the one that had the doves on it. Now, again, pretty, you know, the stain on the dog's head. But we also know that sometimes that's exactly the look we want for grunginess. This is got a bit of a shine to it, and it says a mother's prayer. So obviously that kid is, it's out those pink cheeks, probably running a fever. That would be a good one for a pharmacy. This one I trimmed because there was damage at the top, but obviously this is a very manly scene here with these guys fishing in a stream. There's a beautiful lady. I don't know, I don't think any of these really have anything on the back. And then there's this one. It's called Pals. Now again, let me just tell you what the size is. So that is 11 by 8. Now, you know, what could a person really do with this? You know, maybe it's fussy cutting that girl's face and maybe her little cap sleeve there, or her little, you know, sleeve, using the dog separately, because obviously it would not work for a tall skinny. We don't, you know, we don't let the dog be supreme over the human. And then this is the final one. Again, you know, this kind of looks like it's been hand colored or something. There's a bit of yellow on the hair, blue and yellow around the diaper, and little pink cheeks and lips. So I could probably, now that I've shown this to you, I could probably be using, well, this one for sure in one of the baby books. Anyway, guys, that is all I have to show you, unless I find something more the minute I turn the camera off. But I hope you have enjoyed seeing this. And now I'm free to begin either putting these things away or using them. So thank you so much for joining me. And again, if you want to weigh in on that, you know, giclée cover idea, journal cover idea, by all means, do so in the comments. And of course, as always, tell me what you have enjoyed seeing the most and any bright ideas that you might have, because, you know, I'm receptive to those. I guess I should put all this with my collage-y type stuff, not mix it up. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.